Hi, I'm Tina. Today I'm going to tell you my story. You know those moments when your entire world shatters, and the one person who should be there for you just isn't? That happened to me. Noah and I were that couple, the kind everyone envied. High school sweethearts, married young, thriving careers, and then finally, our beautiful son Jake. Look at him, Noah. He has your eyes, I whispered the day Jake was born. Noah couldn't stop smiling. And your dimples, babe. He's perfect. He held Jake like he was made of glass, as if the slightest pressure might break him. But life has a cruel way of proving just how fragile things really are. We lost Jake in a car accident when he was only 4. One moment, he was in the backseat, singing along to his favorite cartoon song. The next, I still can't talk about that day without breaking down. That's when everything changed. Noah started pulling away. He spent more and more time at his mother's house. Helen, my mother-in-law, had always had this way about her, even before the accident. But after we lost Jake, she became something else entirely. Noah, sweetie, your mother needs you right now. She's not handling Jake's passing well, she'd say, her voice laced with just the right amount of vulnerability. Mom, I'll be right there. And just like that, he'd leave. Again. One night, I tried to reach him. Noah, I need you too. We should be grieving together. He sighed, rubbing his temples. Tina, you don't understand. Mom's all alone in that big house. She keeps having these anxiety attacks about Jake. And what about my anxiety attacks, my sleepless nights? That's different. You have your friends, your sister. Mom only has me. Helen knew exactly what she was doing. I overheard her on the phone with Noah once. A mother's love is different, sweetheart. A wife can move on, find someone else. But a mother? We carry that pain forever. And the worst part, Noah believed her. Every word, every manipulation, every guilt trip. I think your mom needs grief counseling, I suggested one day. His jaw tensed. Don't start, Tina. Mom's dealing with this in her own way. She needs family, not strangers. And what about what I need? No. He grabbed his keys without looking at me. Mom's expecting me for dinner. Don't wait up. That was when my best friend, Ivy, finally said what I had been too afraid to admit. Tina, honey, when was the last time Noah spent a full day with you? I had to think about it. Actually think about it. I don't remember. And how often is he at Helen's? Every day. Sometimes he even sleeps there. Ivy reached across the table, squeezing my hand. This isn't normal, Tina. You lost Jake too. You're his wife. You should be his priority. Her words snapped something in me. For the first time since Jake's death, I saw things clearly. How Helen had worked, systematically, methodically, to pull Noah away from me. How she had weaponized grief. And how my husband had chosen his mother over his grieving wife. But the final blow came on a Sunday night. Helen had invited both of us for dinner, which was unusual. She usually only invited Noah, claiming she wasn't up for company. Noah, could you help me in the kitchen? Helen's sugary sweet voice made my skin crawl. I followed them quietly, lingering just outside the door. Honey, I'm worried about Tina, Helen whispered. She's not handling Jake's passing like a mother should. Always so composed, it's not natural. My heart stopped. Not natural. I had cried myself to sleep for months, alone, while Noah comforted his mother. Mom, Tina is just different. Everyone grieves differently. Different isn't always good, sweetie, Helen murmured. A real mother would be devastated, unable to function. Look at me, I can barely get through the day without you. But Tina, she's at work, meeting friends. It's like she's already moving on from our Jake. I waited for Noah to defend me, to tell his mother that I cried in the shower so no one would hear, that I still couldn't look at Jake's photos without breaking down, that I kept his favorite stuffed dinosaur under my pillow. But Noah said nothing. You need someone strong, Noah. Someone who can support you through this. Tina, she's just not strong enough for you. That's when I stepped into the room. Helen's false concern. Noah's guilt. The sight of them together made my stomach churn. Not strong enough. My voice was eerily calm. Let me tell you what's not strong, Helen. Manipulating your son away from his grieving wife isn't strong. Using our dead child as a weapon isn't strong. Tina. Noah took a hesitant step toward me, but I held up a hand. No, Noah, I'm done. While you've been here, playing the devoted son. I've been alone. Completely alone. Did you know I had to pack up Jake's room by myself? That I handled his preschool memorial alone? That I've been going to grief counseling alone for months? Helen clutched her chest dramatically. Noah, she's attacking me. After everything, everything, Helen. My voice didn't waver. Everything you've done to drive a wedge between us, to make sure Noah stays your little boy instead of being my husband. Later that night, I called Ivy. My hands were still shaking. He just stood there, Ivy. While his mother basically called me a bad mom because I'm trying not to fall apart completely. Oh, honey, what are you going to do? I exhaled slowly. I don't know. I can't keep living like this. It's like I lost both Jake and Noah, but Noah chose to leave. There was a pause, then Ivy's voice shifted, thoughtful. You know what's crazy? Helen only acts like this when there's an audience, when she's trying to prove something. And that's when it hit me. Helen's grief wasn't just grief. It was calculated. Every tear, every sigh, every moment of fragile sadness, she performed it. For Noah, for control. Ivy, I think I have an idea. I know that Tom, Tina. What are you thinking? Helen wants an audience. Let's give her one. But this time, everyone's going to see the real show. The next week, I set everything in motion. Helen had a weekly bridge club meeting every Thursday. It was her stage, her chance to play the grieving grandmother in front of her friends. Ivy adjusted the tiny microphone under my collar. Are you sure about this? I met her eyes. Helen loves an audience. Let's make sure she has the right one. That Thursday, I arrived early. Helen, Noah said you wanted to talk about Jake's memorial garden. She blinked, surprised. Oh, yes. But my bridge club. I'll be quick. Promise. Her friends started arriving right on cue. I could hear them chatting in the living room. Then, right on schedule, Noah walked in. Mom? Tina. What's going on? Perfect. All the players were in place. Helen's voice softened instantly. Noah, honey, she cooed. I was just telling Tina that maybe she should step back from the memorial garden plans. Let me handle it. A grandmother's touch, you know. I tilted my head. You mean like how you've been handling everything else? Making sure Noah stays here with you instead of at home with his wife. Helen gasped. Noah, do you hear how she's attacking me? I pulled out my phone and turned the screen toward her. Actually, Helen, everyone can hear you right now. Her face went pale. You're recording me. Not just today. I tapped the screen, playing back weeks of conversations. Helen telling Noah I wasn't grieving properly. Helen suggesting Noah should just stay with her permanently. Helen laughing with her friends about how Tina's too weak to handle loss like a real mother. A stunned silence filled the room. Mom, Noah's voice was barely a whisper. Did you really say those things about Tina? Helen's mask cracked. I was trying to protect you. She's not good enough for you. Not strong enough. A murmur spread through the living room. Gasps. Whispers. The weight of an audience. Helen had never intended to see her like this. Noah's face went blank as reality finally hit him. Noah's voice was weak. Mom, maybe we should take a break. Just for a while. I let out a sharp, humorless laugh. A break? That's your response? After everything you just heard? Tina, please, understand, she's my mother. I shook my head, something inside me breaking for the last time. And I was your wife. Past tense, that was all I needed to hear. I reached into my purse and pulled out an envelope. I had these drawn up last week. I set the divorce papers on Helen's pristine kitchen table. Helen's lips curled into a triumphant smile, but it made me sick. Even now, she thought she had won. I turned to her, my voice steady. You can have him, Helen. Hope you're ready to take care of your baby boy forever, because that's what you've created. A man who can't be a husband because he's too busy being a son. Then I walked into the living room, facing the stunned faces of Helen's bridge club. Ladies, thank you for being here today. I'm sure many of you have children. If you ever think about destroying their marriages, just remember this moment. As I left Helen's house for the last time, the whispers began. The murmurs of disapproval. The unraveling of Helen's carefully curated image. And Noah? He was exactly where he chose to be, stuck in the web his mother had spun, with no one to blame but himself. It's amazing how fast news travels in a small community. Within weeks, Helen's reign crumbled. Did you hear? Ivy nearly vibrated with glee over coffee one morning. Helen's been redecorating Noah's old bedroom. He's still living there. Can you believe it? I could. The bridge club disbanded. The hospital volunteer committee politely distanced themselves. The country club quietly revoked her membership. Helen got exactly what she wanted, her son all to herself. And Noah? He didn't even fight for the house in a divorce. He was too busy cleaning up the wreckage of his mother's social life. 3 months after I left those papers on the table, it was final. One evening, as I tended to Jake's memorial garden, Noah appeared. "Tina, I've been thinking," he started, hesitant. "About everything. About what Mom did. What I let her do." I stood up, brushing dirt off my knees. "You don't get to have this conversation with me now. Please just listen. I've started therapy. I'm trying to understand why I let her control everything. Why I couldn't be there for you when Jake..." I cut him off. "Say it, Noah, when Jake died. I say it every day in my support group, the one I found by myself while you were busy being the perfect son." Pain flickered across his face. "I know I messed up, but maybe we could try again. Now that I see Mom for who she really is." I looked at him, really looked at him. The man I'd loved since high school. The father of my son. The husband who had abandoned me when I needed him most. "Do you want to know what I see, Noah?" My voice was quiet but firm. "I see a man who still calls his mother Mom while talking about how she destroyed his marriage. You're not here because you changed. You're here because Helen's life is falling apart." Noah said nothing. Because he knew I was right. Last I heard, Noah was still living with Helen, working from home to take care of her. She got exactly what she wanted. And he got exactly what he deserved. Me, I'm happy, really happy. I lead grief support groups now, helping other parents navigate the impossible journey of losing a child. Jake's memorial garden blooms every spring, and I tend to it alone, by choice this time, not circumstance. Because the greatest revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's thriving despite them, while they destroy themselves with their own toxicity. And that's exactly what I did.